These are this afternoon's top stories. Police investigate shooting incident in Sandy Point. Venezuela and Guyana seek solutions in standoff, and attack at gay parade in Jerusalem. Good afternoon and welcome to ZIZ's Midday Newscast. Today is Friday, 31st July 2015. I'm Kyla Berridge. In national news, the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force is investigating a shooting incident that occurred in Sandy Point earlier this morning. Details of the incident are sketchy. However, Police Public Relations Officer Inspector Lyndon David has confirmed that the shooting did occur and the police are looking into the matter. More details will be relayed as they become available. Meanwhile, the Criminal Investigations Department is investigating a report of a robbery which occurred on Wednesday, 29 July at about 12:28 a.m., during which an undisclosed sum of money was stolen from an employee of Domino's Pizza. Initial investigations revealed that an employee of Domino's Pizza and a security officer were on their way to make a deposit at First Caribbean International Bank when they were attacked by an armed masked assailant. Reports indicate that after taking the money, the assailant ran across Liverpool Row and met another person in the vicinity of Lucky's Cosmetics and handed over the bag containing the money to that person, who then ran away. The assailant is fair in complexion and medium build and was wearing a grey hoodie. Anyone who has information pertaining to this incident is asked to contact the Criminal Investigations Department at 465-2241, extension 220, 230, or 231, the nearest police station, or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-8477. Shanika Joshua and Arundel Dorr are this year's Miss Culture Swimwear and Mr. Cool contest winners. Joshua defeated 4 young ladies to win last night's contest with 600.5 points. She also copped awards for Miss Photogenic, People's Choice, and Best Two-Piece Swimwear. Her closest competitor, Kanisha Phillip, lost by half a point. She placed first runner-up and won the Most Creative Swimsuit Award. Second runner-up was Raven Richards with 596 points. She won the Best One-Piece Swimwear Award. Held simultaneously, the Mr. Cool contest was perhaps more entertaining as the 5 participants put on a splendid show. Mr. Cool 2015, Arundel Dorr, scored 801 points and won awards for Most Photogenic, People's Choice, Best Beachwear, and Best GQ Wear. His closest competitor, Wycherley Gums, amassed 787 points. He won the talent and interview segments. Devon Romney placed second runner-up. Culturama 41 continues in Nevis today with the Soca Monarch contest. Competing in the groovy segment will be Ruckus with whining instructions, X-Man with body talking, Jazz with drop that sound, Deli Ranks, who will perform This One For You, Woodis with To The Rescue, Mr. Energy with Sexy To The Bone, Speedy with Side Dish, and Itebulous with I Am Carnival. Young Jay will kick off the power segment with his song, What's Your Definition? He will be followed by Deli Ranks and Itebulous with jamming and whining competition respectively. X-Man with Cultural Sweetness and Mika with Culturama Turn Up. Fantastic Thunder will perform 7th with Be Original. He will be followed by Daddy Tusty with Rhythm in Them Head and Wingy with Emancipation Jam. Meantime, the contestants who will compete in Monday's Caribbean Culture Cream pageant have begun arriving on Nevis, and the pageant's organizers have planned a cocktail reception tonight at Lime Beach Bar. The first round of competition for the pageant, the swimsuit competition, is set for Saturday, August 1st at Lime Beach Bar. Round 2 will be held at the Culturama Complex on Monday, August 3rd. I look at news on the regional scene. Tension between Petrocarib members, Guyana and Venezuela, has prompted intervention from the United Nations. St. Lucia's ambassador to Petrocarib and Alba told HTS News Force on Thursday that efforts are being made to quell the bitter border dispute to maintain peace in the region.
The discovery of an underwater oil reserve is arguably the tipping point in a long-running border dispute between Guyana and Venezuela. Both sides have continued to flex their diplomatic muscle to capture a potentially lucrative find off the Guyanese coast. Venezuela has refused to recognize a boundary drawn in 1899 and it claims about 2/3 of Guyana's territory as its own. Venezuela published a new map in May 2015 that expanded its maritime territory to essentially leave Guyana landlocked. St. Lucia's ambassador to Petrocaribe and Alba told News Force on July 30th the situation has deteriorated significantly, but there is optimism that the two sides will end the posturing.
Based on the latest developments, it is not the best. The region is known for peace, and that's the last thing that we would want right now, for that kind of confrontation, so to speak. It is very important, however, that we bear in mind that based on the last information that I got, that they have asked for some kind of assistance from the United Nations. I think both parties have agreed on that, and we are hoping that there is some kind of amicable, kind of resolution to that problem. It is of concern.
According to the Petrocaribe Alba ambassador, CARICOM nations have a stake in these developments.
Not only to the two parties involved, but also to CARICOM, because as you would know, some of the CARICOM members are also part of Petrocaribe. So it is of concern that to all of us, that we deal with this thing in a very diplomatic manner, rather than the hostile and the aggressive ways that things have been solved before.
The OPEC nation in June demanded that Guyana halt exploration being carried out by ExxonMobil Corp off the coast of the region known as the Essequibo, just weeks after ExxonMobil said it had found oil. Rihani Isidore, HTS News Force.
Guyana's Public Service Ministry remains under watch as millions of dollars were discovered to be misused. Details in this report.
The Public Service Ministry remains on the watch as millions was discovered to be misused. Details in this report.
Investigations into the misappropriation of $127 million from the former Office of the President is continuing as police this morning questioned the account staff of the Ministry of the Presidency. A source at the Ministry of the Presidency informed this newscast that several police officers from the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, questioned the accounts officer and several staff members. The police are also awaiting assistance from the Auditor General's office. The alleged fraud was unearthed recently when the Granger-led administration began investigations into certain practices at the ministry. The source said it was puzzling as to why the former Public Service Minister was requesting monies from the Office of the President to conduct duties which fell under her ministry. The monies, while requested by Minister Westford, was collected by Personnel Officer Margaret Cummings. The money, which was withdrawn over a period of 5 years, was requested to carry out various duties in several regions. However, regional officials have since said they had no knowledge of the projects for which the money was requested. Governance Minister Raphael Trotman at a post-cabinet press conference on Wednesday, while refusing to comment on the matter, said that things seem to be bubbling up and that one of them pertains to the Public Service Ministry's allocation of tens of millions of dollars. Both Westford and Cummings are before the court charged with attempted robbery and forgery. Together, they have been placed on $2 million bail. Reporting for Capital News, Ivor Wharton.
Internationally, an Orthodox Jew who stabbed marchers at a Jerusalem Gay Pride parade 10 years ago launched another knife attack at the same type of parade in the same city Thursday, stabbing and wounding 6 people who were on the streets for the event.
Chaos and bloodshed in Jerusalem. A parade to celebrate Gay Pride quickly turned into a nightmare. A lone ultra-Orthodox man armed with a dagger stabbed indiscriminately into the crowd, wounding 6.
I saw his face. He was religious, really religious.
I just saw him running afterwards and people screaming and running everywhere.
The attack happened here. You can see blood still on the ground. Eyewitnesses say police quickly arrested the suspect, and it soon became apparent that this was not his first stabbing.
The suspect was identified as Yishai Schliessel. 3 weeks ago, he was released from prison. In 2005, at the same parade, he'd stabbed 3 marchers. The Israeli courts later reduced his 12-year sentence to 10.
After he was released from jail in an interview with ultra-Orthodox media, he said the struggle is not over yet. Jerusalem is full of those impure people. If one person comes and wants to stop the parade, he needs to do something radical. If hundreds of people were to try to stop the parade, they would be able to prevent the parade without stabbing. For years, Jerusalem's Gay Pride Parade has been met with resistance from radical ultra-Orthodox Jews. One ultra-Orthodox website reported Thursday's attack, calling the march, quote, abomination and not pride. Some religious leaders condemned the stabbings. Government officials denounced it as a hate crime. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released a statement wishing the injured a speedy recovery. He said, in Israel, everyone, including the gay community, has the right to live in peace, and we will defend that right. But given the 2005 attack and that Schlissel was known to police, the question many here are asking is, why was this allowed to happen? Aaron McLaughlin, CNN, Jerusalem.
The Nigerian government has launched a new effort to stop the illegal importation of frozen chicken. Imports were banned more than a decade ago, but local producers says it has been poorly enforced, and a new study says imported chicken is having a negative impact on public health. Al Jazeera's Yvonne Ninje reports from Ogun State.
It's 3 a.m. and we're with a team from Nigeria Customs on one of the roads that links Benin Republic to Nigeria in Ogun State. They're on the lookout for frozen chicken smugglers. It's a trade they say is losing Nigeria nearly $3 billion a year in lost income. After 4 hours of waiting, the smugglers appear. They spot customs officials and flee into the bush, abandoning the chicken and their vehicles. Importing frozen chicken has been banned since 2003 to help stimulate local production. But a government-backed study published in July found that the law is not being enforced, and that imported frozen chicken that gets through is unfit for human consumption. Local producers like Femi Faniyi are the worst affected. At his farm in Igbesha, Ogun State, he produces 250,000 chickens a year. If the illegal importation of frozen chicken was stopped, he says he would produce 750,000.
They bring in unwholesome, really bad chickens, which of course they can sell at a much lower prices than I can, and the public, unfortunately, at times do not recognize the difference.
A locally produced chicken costs around $8 per bird, a smuggled chicken around $2.
The Nigeria Customs Service is destroying over 1,000 boxes of smuggled frozen chicken that they seized on Wednesday night. But it's a fraction of the chicken being smuggled in, and they're struggling to destroy it all.
Part of the problem is the importation of these chickens is not banned in Benin Republic, and there's not enough locally produced chicken to meet demand.
We really have to arrest the culprits and take them to the court or arraign them before the court of competent jurisdiction, and that will serve deterrent. And I want to assure you, anybody who we arrest, and the moment we secure conviction, we put him on the front page of papers, so that at least Nigerians know that he's an unpatriotic Nigerian and he's the person who wants to kill you.
One solution to ending the illegal trade is to improve power supply to farms like Femi's to increase production and improve the road so he can get chicken to his customers. Until then, it's likely the frozen chicken smugglers will continue trying to import the goods into Nigeria. Yvonne Dega, Al Jazeera, Ogun State, Nigeria.
Taking a look at the weather. Temperatures recorded at 79 degrees Fahrenheit with winds blowing from the east at 13 to 20 miles per hour. Seas are moderate with waves up to 5 feet. Today will be mostly sunny and hazy with a 10% chance of showers. Tonight will be partly cloudy and hazy with a 30% chance of showers after 2 a.m. Sunset this evening is expected at 6:44 p.m. while sunrise tomorrow should be at 5:50 a.m. That brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Barrett.